Houston, we have liftoff. In the early 2000s, Steve Francis was one of the most electric guards in the NBA. Known for his emphatic dunks and filthy handles, he was nicknamed Steve Franchise for a reason. After the blockbuster trade where the Rockets got T-Mac and the Magic got the franchise, he just kind of faded off the radar. So where's Steve Francis now? I'm Riley Winn, and I'm here to tell you just what happened to Steve Francis, aka the franchise. After just 1 year of college at Maryland, Francis averaged 17 a game, led the ACC in steals, was first team All-ACC, a second team All-American, and was ready to show out in the NBA. He was picked second overall in the 1999 NBA draft to the then Vancouver Grizzlies. Francis actually refused to play in Vancouver and faced a lot of scrutiny for it. Ultimately, the two parties just couldn't come together, and he was dealt to the Rockets in an 11-player trade, the biggest in NBA history at the time. He immediately made an impact in Houston. His rookie season, Francis was named co-rookie of the year and was the runner-up to Vince Carter in the legendary, and I mean legendary, 2000 slam dunk contest. He spent 5 seasons with the Rockets and was paired up with 7'6" Yao Ming for a couple of those years. He averaged 19.4 points a game and became a 3-time All-Star. However, it was clear that Yao was Houston's guy, and that didn't sit well with Steve. I mean, his nickname is the franchise. Anyways, in 2004, he was traded to the Orlando Magic for legend in the making, Tracy McGrady. Despite being frustrated with his situation, Francis actually had a bounce-back season and was averaging 21.4 points, 7 assists, and 5.8 rebounds a game. The following seasons, his production started to decline because of his attitude towards off-the-court issues. Basically, they traded away his best friend, Cuttino Mobley. Bro, you can't be doing that, Orlando. And in 2006, just before the trade deadline, he was dealt to the Knicks. His time with the Knicks was pretty mid. He didn't get on the court as much due to nagging injuries in his knee and ankle, and when he did, he just didn't have the same bounce he used to. In 2007, he actually returned to Houston, but had to undergo a season-ending surgery and wasn't really able to recover from the injury, thus ending his NBA career. In 2010, Francis actually tried to make a comeback. He went over to China to play in the CBA, but came home just after playing 14 minutes overseas. After a tough 10 seasons in the league, Steve Francis had trouble going back to life without basketball. He struggled with alcohol addiction and had multiple run-ins with the law. In 2018, he wrote a piece for the Players Tribune which said, "What happened to Steve Francis? I was drinking heavily is what happened, and that can be just as bad. In the span of a few years, I lost basketball, I lost my whole identity, and I lost my stepfather, who committed suicide." Steve Francis has been very open about his struggles with addiction and hopes his story can help inspire others. He's cleaned up and is focusing on giving back. He owns a team in the TBL and hopes to develop basketball talent. He is also very active in the Steve Francis Foundation, which hopes to inspire at-risk youth in Washington, D.C. and Houston, the two communities he holds dearest. When he was at the top of his game, no one was stopping the franchise from getting a bucket. But when things started to not go his way, his addiction got the best of him. Once he lost basketball, he lost himself. Thankfully, he was able to turn things around and not only help himself, but give back to others. What are some other athletes who were absolute studs that you're not sure where or what they're up to now? Hit me up on Twitter and Instagram and let me know. If you want to see who we cover on our next episode of What Happened To, subscribe now and make sure to turn on those notifications. I'm Riley Winn. See you on the next one.